If you've been hearing that you can buy a home with $0 down, you're not wrong. But the problem is most people stop listening right there. And that's where things get confusing, frustrating, and expensive. Because buying a home with $0 down can be a great option. It just isn't as simple as people might think. And it definitely is not the same for everybody. And here's how this all starts. Somebody's been renting for a while and they're just sick and tired of it. They feel like they're just throwing money out the trash every single month. And then they hear some guy like me talking on social media how you can buy a home with $0 down. And then that idea sticks. They start Googling and watching shorts and reels from every guru out there. They'll see posts online that literally make this seem effortless. So they think, well, why wouldn't I do that? And that question makes sense, but it usually isn't the right first question. What most people don't realize is just because it's $0 down doesn't mean that it's zero cost. It just means that the upfront part looks different. And when buyers don't understand what's actually changing, they end up being disappointed. Or worse, they feel like they're boxed into a decision that they didn't really think through all the way. I've talked to buyers who literally were convinced that $0 down was their only option until we slowed down the conversation a little bit. Once they understood how their monthly payment changed, how inspections would work, how negotiations worked, and what kind of flexibility was gained or maybe given, their priorities sometimes completely changed. And not because $0 down was bad, but because they finally saw the whole picture. Here's where people get tripped up. When you don't put money down, you're usually trading one thing for another. And look, sometimes that trade is worth it and sometimes it's not. Your payment might be higher, but your options are narrower. Your leverage in negotiations might feel different. And none of that means that you shouldn't do it. It just means that you shouldn't walk into it blindly. And I've seen people rush into these types of loan programs because they were scared of missing out on something. They thought if I didn't move fast, then I would never get it. So they skipped the part where they ask, is this house still a good option even if the payment is tight? Or what happens if repairs come up? Or how long do I realistically plan to stay here? Those questions matter a whole lot, especially when you're buying a home with little cushion. And there's also this assumption that says that buying a home with $0 down is the easiest option. Sometimes it is, and then other times it actually requires the most amount of patience possible. More documentation, more rules, more boxes to check, or if the government shuts down for a period of time, you can no longer even proceed. I had several clients that were affected by this past year, so something to consider. And look, if you don't know that going into it, the process can seem to be overwhelming. Not that something is wrong, but because expectations were just off. Another thing that people don't really mention a lot is not enough flexibility. When you bring money to the closing table, you usually have a few choices. And when you don't, the choices that you do have to make matter more. That's not another negative. That just means that you have to be more intentional with the decisions that you're making. Buying a house with $0 down works best when the payment fits with your life. The timeline makes sense. And you're comfortable with some trade-offs. And it works the worst whenever it's used as an escape hatch just to get out of renting without a real plan in place. I've seen buyers succeed with $0 down loan programs and feel great about it years later. And I've seen buyers a couple years later say, wow, I wish I would have slowed down and realized really what I was committing to. And look, here's the deal. The difference between those two outcomes usually isn't the loan program. It's usually if the buyer understood the why behind their decision. So before you decide that you're going to buy with $0 down, the better question to ask is, what am I trying to solve? Is it the monthly payment? Is it the cash savings? Is it timing? Is it fear of being priced out? Is it wanting stability? Once that's clear, $0 down either makes a whole lot of sense or it doesn't. And look, both answers are okay. Buying a home is not about finding the fastest way in. It's about finding a way that feels good once you're living there. And when you really understand what bringing $0 down to the closing table actually changes, not just what it removes, you make better decisions. So if you're considering going with a $0 down loan program, before you get all emotionally attached to a home, feel free, send me a message. Let me connect you with a lender that I know, like, and trust, and let's have a real in-depth conversation about your situation, your needs, and your desires, not just for this season, but for the future. All my information is down below. It'll take you directly to my website where you can find all my information, whether text, email, phone call, whatever you need, I'm there for you. You can also find me on social media. If you haven't followed me already, make sure to follow me there. And if you like this video, make sure to click the like button, subscribe for more videos like this. And look, all I'm trying to do is be your local realtor here in Northeast Arkansas. Is that too much to ask? Thanks again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Again, my name's Talon at Keller Williams Realty.